I thought we played really well. I was a little concerned, Travis, from your question yesterday. It was the right question. Our practice yesterday was bad. And it was all the things that you and I talked about yesterday at media availability. We practiced yesterday at 11, and the previous time that we had practiced was last Tuesday when we left to go to Tampa. That was practice 77. Yesterday was practice 78. Their spirit was fine. It was just rough, and they knew it wasn't good. And so I spent yesterday afternoon kind of texting back and forth with groups of them, all of them, individually, collectively, and just said, guys, we got to change what we do and shoot around tomorrow. We gave away too many reps today to play against real players that have a very unique style of play, which is counter to what we have done over the last 6 or 8 games, specifically in Tampa. And to their credit, they were really good this morning. Spirit was good. Energy was back. Semi-normal. Execution of what the coaches wanted them to do, spot on. And I thought from start to finish, I thought our energy, our spirit, our flow, our mojo, the plan relative to how they play, I thought our guys played at a really high level, no matter who was in the game. Mo's, I think that's a career high for Mo on the glass. I thought he changed the game, particularly in the first half, and really pleased with their effort and their energy from start to finish, and thankful that we get to keep playing.
Generally speaking, what did y'all change in shoot around today?
Well, we couldn't have shoot around in Tampa, so the shoot around was, in essence, watch it on the big screen, walk through it in the conference room. And then what we had been doing, it's without overcomplicating it, we kind of split up in stations in pre-practice, and we kind of brought that to shoot around. And then we typically just kind of walk through and reconfirm all the things that they already knew. But in a practice day, there are layers to what we want to accomplish defensively in the half court and in the full court. And then we kind of do those same exact things offensively. And yesterday it was just not good enough to win. And so what I was telling them yesterday during our text messages throughout the evening was, we'll do the shooting stations that we always do, but we need 22 minutes of real work, which is just an abbreviated version of our build-up defensively and our build-up offensively. And, they played zone against Utah State more than they had in Pac-12 play, total. Utah State runs a very complex offense. So I didn't know if that was because it was Utah State specific, or was that going to come towards us? And then you saw that a lot, even in the first half. Zone pressure, back to a zone. And then in the second half, it was zone pressure, back to a zone that turned into a man. So we had to work on that. And then their core offense is what Coach ran all 16 years at Creighton, and he's been running it all 12 years at Oregon. A little bit more dribble drive now than normal, but, where all 5 players are above the free throw line. And there's so many layers to what they do from that. And you can't teach our guys, anybody, all of that in a 1 or 2 day prep. But there's got to be some core things that you have to do, and we were able to. We tried to do it yesterday. We didn't do it. This morning we did, and then I thought the execution throughout the game was really good.
Buzz, were there any objectives that y'all have for this game that y'all did not accomplish? Because like you said, y'all played pretty well.
Yes, sir. Big Rock number 3 today was less than 7 offensive rebounds for Oregon and more than 15 offensive rebounds for us. They had 5 offensive rebounds, I believe, at halftime, so we were a little behind. And then You guys would have to look it up, the timing of it. But there was a stretch when we were just trading baskets, and so many of those trading baskets were offensive rebounds by number one. And I would say that would be probably of our priorities, that was the one thing that we failed on.
It seems like as big as those guys are, and that a lot of those offensive rebounds might come in multiples on the same possession. So it seemed like for the whole game that y'all actually did pretty well.
Yeah, so without trying to act like a coach, so within their offense, they're going to get 4 guys on one side of the floor. So you're going to end up having 4 guys on one side of the floor. And then when they get those 4 guys on one side of the floor, they're manipulating where those 4 guys go. And the one guy that's going to be on the weak side, in this case it was number 1 and number 22, that's going to end up being our guard on number 1 and 22. So they're going to shoot it on this side, and if they miss it, it's going to go on this side, and you got a guarding their 7-footer. And that was where we call that crack back. We were not cracking back near physically enough.
What was it? And if I've got wrong on this, I apologize. But what was it that y'all decided to do with Manny? Because I don't think I'd seen him out kind of running the offense there before.
Yeah, there's when we changed offensively, I guess it was. We changed offensively, Olin, I think when we lost at Auburn, there were 6 games to go in the regular season, I believe. And that's when we changed offensively. And within that change, Mo and Boots are a hybrid. And so, in essence, they can play one of 4 spots. And then depending upon the matchup, sometimes you'll see Mo out there with the ball. Sometimes you'll see Mo in the corners. Sometimes you'll see Mo in the elbows. And back then, when we installed it with Boots being maneuverable to all of it. And what's transpired as guys have become more and more comfortable with it, now Mo can do the same thing that Boots. And so we just try within that maneuverability to get the right matchup that we want. Mo's an elite passer. I mean, you saw the timeout in the first half down there on their end. We threw it to Mo, and then there went Q on the cut and Mo over the top, 2 assists. I didn't know it was 2, but I mean, he has a unique game, and his body and his physicality. I just think, as I've told you guys all year long, I think he and 4 have an incredibly bright future. And these minutes, how many games have those 2 kids started? That's when all this started, wasn't it? Yeah, I mean, those I thought today was the best Mo had played as a college basketball player. But it was because of his presence on the glass. That's what makes Boots such a hard matchup. Like, Boots, are you playing the point this time? Or are you playing over there on the wing? Are you playing in the ISO spot? And now we're starting to use Mo that same way. But the reason why Boots is so hard to get off the floor is the presence he has on the glass on both ends. Mo doing that changes the complexion of our team.
With their height and the playing zone at times too, did you expect this kind of percentage of points in the paint against this kind of team?
No. When they were initially zone, straight up zone, I thought we were fine. I thought we were playing at a good flow pace. I thought we had poise within what we were doing. I didn't think we were out of sorts. But when the press turned into the zone, and then based on how we were attacking the zone, turned into man, we got a little rough. And I think that was at the under 8 timeout. And our attack against the zone up until that point, I scrapped it. I just said, guys, it's too much. We're just doing this regardless of what they do. And then I thought we got the kinks out from that point forward.
Anything else, Coach?
Coach, what number 300 mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. Obviously, I'm very emotional after a game, particularly with the season that we've had. I think the thing that I just told the radio people is there'll be another head coach at Texas A&M. There's another head coach at Virginia Tech. There's another head coach at Marquette, at New Orleans. I think the thing that as I get older that I look back on is it's really the chair that I sit in, I have to be responsible for, and how I represent the institution and the families that are in our program is of the utmost importance. But 300 wins, you have to play more than 300 to get there. And then I also remember the 12 years I was an assistant at multiple places. But I remember people that helped me that didn't have to help me when they had no idea that it was going to turn into what it's turned into. And so I'm constantly reminded personally, internally, that I understand the responsibilities within the chair I sit. And I hold them with the heaviest burden because it's so important. But I'm living a dream bigger than any I ever had because I didn't have wisdom enough to dream something this big. And so when I look back to prior to ever being a head coach, I remember the character of the people that were helping me in a sincere and pure way because they weren't helping me because I was the head coach at Texas A&M. And so what I want to make sure with this blessings, I want to make sure that I'm responsible for the people that I can help regardless of where their futures go. And my grandmother used to always say, you can't be anything you want to be. That's a lie. You can be anything you earn the right to be. And I would be too arrogant and too egotistical to think that I've earned this. But what I'm humbled by are hundreds and hundreds of people that were helping me only because they believed that was the right thing to do. And I remember so many of those people, and I don't think that I should call them by name because I'll miss someone. But even my wife, I meet her and I'm a Division II assistant coach. We're engaged, and I'm an assistant for the second time in a Southland Conference school. And 18 days before we are to be married, Dale Lair, who doesn't know me, hires me as an assistant at Colorado State. And to think from 1998, 1999 season when I met Corey to today, that's why I think, and I tell our players this, you think that as you rise, your circle will become bigger. But in truth, as you rise, your circle becomes a dot. Because you don't know the angle at which you're being approached. And our players would tell you if you ask them, and I'm saying this with sincerity, like the perception of who I am as a coach and as a person, it's literally diametrically opposed than to the reality. And I used to be so offended, and I wanted to defend myself for the perception. And I've learned through this path, no, that's the wrong thing to give energy and emotion to. The right thing to give energy and emotion to are the lifelong, trustful relationships that I'm building with all of the people that are on team bus number 1 every single day. Because in the end, when I'm not coaching at Texas A&M and I'm not coaching, I still have to be responsible to the words and the commitment that I gave all of those people before they ever got a seat on the bus. And so I'm humbled. I'm excited. I'm thankful. I didn't think it was going to turn into this. But with this, I understand that's another responsibility in how I handle the blessing.
So how will you handle the next few days? I think you have a little bit of a break.
I know, isn't it beautiful?
So how
It's
do you-
2 o'clock, and I'm going to be out of here in 38 seconds, and we're off tomorrow. Yeah, like I don't even know what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat pizza. I'm going to eat cereal. I love watching basketball games when my biceps are not in a vice. And I get to be around my 3 kids that are here and my wife. And I think we'll probably do shooting with Buzz on Monday. And I would say it'll be a full work day on Tuesday and then play on Wednesday. That's what I think now.